Okay, fair dues. Thanks for that. 2025 starts with the visit of Brentford at the weekend. They've got 2 away points all season, so we kind of know how this is going to go, Paul. What are your expectations for the game? What would you like to see? What are we going to see? It always starts with a sigh when we look ahead to a game.
I think we've all done that tonight, and we've just started with a sigh. I suppose I've got to hope that that we can build upon what happened against West Ham at home, and just maybe it's one of those things whereby a couple of maybe a goal, a bit of a change of luck, a VAR decision that goes in our favour, something might just kick-start us to a point whereby we'll go for it, and we've got to. Our luck can't be this bad over 38 games. There's got to be one game. And as I was explaining probably sooner, that I've picked this game as my game of the season via the club to go to, and I didn't want to pick Man City or Chelsea or Arsenal for obvious reasons, thinking, well, which team might we actually have a good performance against and maybe win? And I went for Brentford, but that was 5 months ago before all this started. But in reality, what am I expecting? If we can just give it a go. And if we go down 3-2, but we've given it a go, get the crowd on their feet, score some goals. Let's get Amo-Ameyaw on a goal, at least lift the crowd. But as Glen has said, the fact they've got 2 points away from they're bound to have to break their deadlock somewhere, and here they are. So don't want to be negative, but I'm not expecting a huge amount. I will go and I'll be there and cheer them on as I always do, and I won't leave until it's over. But I'd like to start 2025 with a smile on my face. If I can do that, then that's a start.
It's not a big ask, is it? Really,
no,
but
a low bar.
Kind of where we are. Bottom line, Glenn, I guess it's another home game that we've got to get something from. And I'm not thinking about in terms of staying up now. I'm thinking about saving a bit of pride and trying to get Derby's record. That's what we're looking at now.
Well, we're exactly halfway through the season now, and we've got 6 points, so we're on for 12, which is awesome. So that'll
we'll take that.
At least stave off winning that particular competition. Brentford at home as an individual game, it's got to be one you're targeting because of Brentford's away record. Obviously, having said that, Thomas Frank is without doubt my favourite manager out of all the other managers in the league. Just love the way he carries himself. There's no BS about him at all. Achieves really good results with limited money and what everyone else would see as kind of limited players. Got a very distinct way of playing. They replaced Ivan Toney, who was their main man, hardly played last year, still kept him up. He'll keep him up again this year. They've got dangerous forward players, and Burmo, Shada, Visser. They'll all cause us problems. I don't really have any sort of inside track onto why they perform so well at home and not so well away. There's been plenty of teams like that down the years, of course. But they will certainly be targeting this game for a win, and hopefully that'll play into our hands a little bit. But I think it could be a bit of an aerial bombardment game. Both teams playing similar kind of tactics. It's the sort of game where I'd normally sort of predict us to go and win, but I'm still recovering from today, so I very much doubt that will happen. Come prediction time, but I certainly think we can cause some problems. But they have shown. I mean, they drew 0-0 with Brighton, I think it was.
They've got a few injuries as well, I think, haven't they?
That's a dreadful game, by the way. That Brighton game, so bad.
Yeah, I think this game could be a dreadful game as well from purely from a football point of view. But all will be forgiven if we get some points out of it. But it's going to be. It's going to be a tough game as everyone is, but it's certainly, if you like, easier than some of the other games we've got coming up for the rest of the season.
So we're going to have a couple of changes then, Steve, by the sounds of it. I'd missed the Bednarek one, but Fernandez is going to miss the game through suspension.
It looks like Bednarek might only be on 4, so I might have got that wrong.
Oh, okay.
But Fernandez is
definitely out. So do we think Downs comes back in maybe there?
If he's fit. I mean, I don't know what the status of that is in terms of how long it's going to be out. I mean, dead leg could be. I mean, when I used to get a dead leg at school from one of my mates sticking their knee into my thigh.
Were you bullied at school, Steve?
No, I mean we applied it to each other on a regular basis. But I mean, that was then gone within like an hour. So, I mean, the dead leg that these pros get is obviously a very different beast. But yeah, you're never quite sure what the recovery time is on those. And given that, I mean, we've highlighted Downs sort of as one of those players who's not quite made the step up that we all thought he would.
Yeah.
I do wonder whether it might be a case that we hold him back for another week if necessary. I mean, you could even hold him back for 2 weeks, given that we got the FA Cup game a week afterwards, and you can. I don't know what sort of priority level we'll put on that. I mean, you could argue, well, actually, stick your full first 11 out to try and get them.
The only competition that we're competing in.
Get them scoring some goals against some championship sides. Because let's be honest, you're going to be playing against them next year. So I don't know how that will go. I would, it depends on the medical situation. I think if he's fit, he'll play. Just depends on sort of the degree of that fitness. But yeah, I think it's got to be him and Ugochukwu alongside each other going forward for the foreseeable, just because of the sort of aerobic requirements, if you like.
Do you want to talk to us about your score prediction for today's game, by the way?
What, that I finally got one right?
Even the stop clock is right twice.
Yes.
Wow. Do you know how long it's been? It's been about 3 years, isn't it?
2 years, I think.
Sorry, doing you a disservice. But you got it right today. So
absolutely bang on, yeah.
Alfie got it absolutely spot on as well. So Steve and Alfie with the 3 pointers in our predictions league. I'm sure a few others as well. Steve, do you want to go first with this one? How do you see this going on Saturday?
Oh God, it's not going to be pleasant. I don't
really
think.
You think?
Well, yeah. I mean, you look at our record and you look at their away record, and you look at their recent away games specifically. I don't think it's going to be one for the sort of those who kind of favour the more Pep Guardiola ideology of the game. I think it's going to be pretty direct. It'll be might be a little bit up and at 'em, which I guess suits some people's palate. But in terms of quality football, I suspect that will be in relatively short supply among both teams. Even though Brentford are more than capable of playing good football, and we have been at times as well this season. But if the weather continues the way it's been the last couple of weeks, it's going to be freezing cold. It's probably going to be blowing a gale. And yeah, that introduces an element of randomness again. So, I'm not expecting big things from this.
You're not selling it to me.
No, I mean, weirdly, like Brentford's games this season have seen an average, I think, of 3.5 goals per game, home and away. And if you bear in mind how many goals they've scored and conceded at home, that kind of shows that actually them getting a 0-0 at Brighton is like a huge anomaly. And yet I kind of quite fancy another one. So I think I will be going for another 0-0.
A 0-0. Okay, Paul.
I know I said earlier, I'd be happy, just seeing us being a bit positive. Let's be honest, we can't stop conceding and we don't score. So my natural instinct is to go for I hate being negative. I'll go 2-2. Let's hope that we, give it a go. And Amo-Ameyaw finally gets one if he plays, obviously. But there's no way we're not going to concede. I mean, I know we beat Everton 1-0, but I can't think of another game at home this season we haven't conceded at least one, if not two. So I think, 2-2 would be nice, but I'd take a 1-1. I'd take a 0-0 to be completely honest. But in the spirit of being positive, 2-2.
Glenn?
In the spirit of being positive, 1-0 to Brentford. Because we're only going to lose by one. It'll probably be a scrappy free kick goal scored by Nathan Collins or something. It'd be awful. But not expecting much from this game. It's the hope that kills you, so I'm told. So I've decided to have no hope. Gone for 1-0 to Brentford.
All right. If you're watching live, don't forget to put your predictions into the comment section on there.